Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Felicia and this is my book. I'm the author of my book. It is called My Unheard Voice by Felicia Perez. It is a book that I wrote about my 7 years of childhood sexual abuse. I was abused from the age of 5 until I was 12 by my stepfather. So this book details, everything about the grooming process, everything about details about the abuse, my, thought process, my confusion, everything that was going on in my head. I already made several videos, but this one I wanted to make its own video because I know some people will not understand it and some people will probably, have some backlash about it. I know that. I know several people will not get it. And that's totally cool. I understand. But the people who are victims and the people who were abused at a very young age, I'm sure will get it. And this video is for those people. Okay. So I just did a video, I think yesterday, about chapter 3, which was from the age of 4 until I was 8. Okay, I, shared a little bit of info in that video, but I did not go into detail about this topic because I wanted this topic to have its own video. Okay, so when I was 8 years old, I had my first orgasm at the hands of my stepfather. Yes, you heard that right. I was 8 years old and I had my first orgasm by him. I did not know what it was, obviously. I was 8 years old. I knew that, it was a different feeling than before. It was something I'd never felt before in my life. And I did not know what it was. Right after it happened, he giggled. He laughed and he says, he said, "See, this is how I can show you love." I had no idea what that meant. I had no idea what the hell had just happened. Of course, within seconds, my hand was wet from his semen because, of course, I was jerking him off as usual. But I did not know what had happened to me. I was confused. So I was 8 years old. No idea what grade I was in. I would say second or third. I don't even really know. But I do know that I was in school, and I was under a tremendous amount of stress during those years. I had no idea why. I had no idea what stress even was, but I was under a tremendous amount of stress. I was always nervous. I had anxiety. I didn't know, what the hell was going to happen later that day. I was always, worried that something bad was going to happen. I was always worried that, something was going to happen. I just never knew what it was. Then one day I was at school, sitting there at my desk, doing my work. And somehow I started feeling the feeling that I had felt before. The feeling before the orgasm I had before. And I didn't really understand what it was. But when I was rubbing against my seat at school, that same feeling came over my body again. And, the stress was relieved and I felt better. So it kind of became an obsession, even though I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't even know it was a sexual thing. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I just knew that my anxiety was relieved for a short period. And I didn't know. I didn't think anything of it. But it became an obsession to where I was doing it in school, in class. I know my teacher saw me because I saw her looking at me one time and she never questioned it. Other students never questioned it, which is so fucking embarrassing. Like, looking back, how come nobody ever fucking asked me where I learned this? How come nobody asked me what the fuck I was doing? I don't understand. If I had seen somebody else do it, I probably would have asked, like, hey, what are you doing? Nobody did. Nobody asked me. My teacher, who was the adult, should have seen it. She didn't ask me. She didn't report me to the school nurse. She didn't, report it to the counselor. If those steps would have been taken, my abuse probably would have ended years before it actually ended. But they didn't. The teacher ignored it. Nobody did shit about it. I did it at home, at my grandmother's house. I know she saw it. She never did shit about it either. If one of these people, just one of them, had stepped the fuck up and asked me, hey, Felicia, what are you doing? Like, you don't do that at school. Like, where did you learn that? That's not normal behavior. I would have freaked out. I would have known, what the fuck am I doing? Where did I learn this? I would have told somebody. Well, my stepdad showed me this. I felt it with him one time. And that would have stopped my abuse. Years before it stopped. It stopped when I was in 6th grade. This was happening in 2nd or 3rd grade. So years before, like several years before. No one did a damn thing. And I know it's not their fault. They ignored it, or they were naive, or they just didn't want to deal with it. I mean, I don't know. But I know if I'm an adult and I see a child doing that before they're age appropriate, I would be asking, what are you doing? Tell me where you learned that. I would be asking a million questions that weren't asked to me. And that is why I wanted this video to be separate from the other videos. I wanted this topic to be separate because it needs its own time. So I'm going to go a little bit deeper. Okay, so when an abuser chooses his victim, and yes, I am using the word chooses because he chose me. These pedophiles choose their victim. They choose the child that is weak, the child that is scared, the child that is vulnerable, the child that won't speak up. They choose those children on purpose. It's not by accident. No, you're handpicked because you're weak. You're handpicked because you won't talk. And you were handpicked because you were scared. That's why they choose you. That's why I was chosen. So if these men know what they're doing, they're men. They're men touching children. Their goal is to make the child feel good, which that in turn makes them feel good. So they know what they're doing. They, touched many women throughout their years. They know what they're doing. So they know what will make a woman, a girl, a child have an orgasm. They know exactly what to do. They know exactly where to touch and exactly how to touch. They know what they're doing. It's the child that doesn't know. So when it happens, the child is confused because the child doesn't know what just happened. But they know, of course, the men know what happened. The men know what they made happen. But they don't understand, or maybe they do understand. I don't fucking know if they do or not. But they don't care that is going to damage the child for the rest of their lives. Because somehow their body showed this man that they enjoyed it. My body showed him that I enjoyed it when I did not. My brain hated him. My mind hated him. But my body lied to him. Why? Why did my body do that? I don't know. But it happens. And it happens very frequently with children who are abused at a very young age. The grooming process starts earlier. They are younger. They don't have the chance to know between right and wrong. And their bodies give in. We don't do it on purpose. We do it because we don't know any better. That's why we do it. We are too young to know any better. We cannot control our bodies. We cannot control what our bodies do. A lot of times, that is the the cause of dissociation, which is where the brain disconnects your mind from your body. So you won't feel these things anymore. You know, your body is under so much stress and trauma that it literally shuts off and separates you so you won't feel it. Because after that first orgasm, he never did it again. It never happened to me again. And I'm pretty sure that's because that's when my dissociation started. And that's when I started disconnecting. And I went numb after that first time. So I just wanted to share this video separately because I know a lot of people will not understand it, and that is totally fine. I wouldn't understand it unless it happened to me. So I'm cool. You know, if you don't understand it, you know, that's okay. But try to understand the girls in your life and the women in your life who have been sexually abused when they were very young. Because they know what I'm talking about. I guarantee it. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I'm always here. If you want to comment on my video, of course, please do. You know, the more recognition these videos get, the more appreciative I am. I'm trying my best to raise awareness against, you know, childhood sexual abuse, and I can use any help I can get. Thank you. Bye-bye.